2022's Hellraiser, a reboot of the 1980s classic based on the novel A Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, bringing the scares just in time for spooky season. But is it better than Space Jam? Blah, blah, dun, 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 dun. Hellraiser! The thunder and heat! Oh, I didn't see you there. It's me, Alistair Dillon, and I hold PhDs in space and basketball fundamentals with a minor in film history. And today we have such sights to show you. Because we're going to be talking about 2022's Hellraiser. Is it better than Space Jam? Let's find out. Ah! It stabbed me again! 2022's Hellraiser centers around the world's most dangerous children's toy, the Lament configuration. It's just like a Rubik's Cube, except it causes you infinite amounts of pain and suffering. So I guess in a way it is just like a regular Rubik's Cube. The main difference being with this one, a bunch of goth kids come out of nowhere and stick you with hooks and chains and rip you apart. Rumor has it that if you can trick enough stooges into solving the puzzle box for you, the box will drink their blood like some kind of Dracula box, and then you'll receive an audience with God. Except in this case, it's not really God so much as it's a giant floating diamond hovering over an M.C. Escher painting. I love this music. Now you compare that to Space Jam and they have their own magical puzzle box of sorts, except instead of being a box that sucks out your blood and your soul, it's a run-of-the-mill magical basketball that sucks out your talent. And if I had my way, it'd suck off your soul too. Ah, fudge. So when it comes to magical objects, it's a wash. I f***ing love Hellraiser 3. Now, believe it or not, Hellraiser has its own iconic, wacky, and zany catchphrase, uttered throughout not only 2022's remake, but throughout various other moments in the franchise. And it goes a little something like, "We have such sights to show you."
We have such sights to show you.
We have such sights to show you.
And then Space Jam, you have the classic line uttered by world-famous Bugs Bunny. What's up, doctor?
What's up, Doc?
Now, as much as I hate going to the doctor, there's one thing I hate more. And that's being promised that there's such sights to see. And then you go to the end of the pier and you look through the binoculars and it costs $0.25 to look through it. I like looking at things and I like doing it for free. Point Space Jam. Ah! Now, if you are a former winner of Mr. Lament's famous box puzzle of doom and despair, you win a prize. And usually it's not a very good prize. Unless you like Hellraiser! And usually it's something bad, like you wish for unlimited pleasure, and then the goth kids twist that because their pleasure's pain, and they stick a giant golden thing in your chest, and it pulls on all your nerves and you're in constant pain because for them, pleasure is pain, just like my ex-wife. But if you don't like your prize and you're incredibly savvy and you understand the art of the deal, you can just go to customer service in hell and you can exchange your prize for another one.
Gifts cannot be ungiven. Only exchanges can be made.
And sometimes they offer you deals that you don't even know you can have, like the secret menu at McDonald's. Sometimes you're the stooge who gets your hand stabbed, and then instead of sticking pins and needles in your face, they say, "Why don't you just go and stab somebody else with it, you big knucklehead, and we'll let you live, and maybe you get the grand prize at the end." And then sometimes the deal's too confusing to understand, and there's two winners, even though one person solved it. And then on the Space Jam side of the coin, you have Mr. Swackhammer, the wily businessman who truly does understand the art of the deal. He's the best businessman, best deal maker in the history of deal makers. He gets the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan to agree to play a game of basketball where the stakes are win or be slaves. There's nothing that he loses in this.
Do we have a deal?
Deal. Now, ultimately, he does lose the basketball game, and ultimately his goons do betray him, and he does get strapped to a rocket, launched into space, and he probably dies cold and suffocated in the cold void that is outer space. But that's the art of the deal, baby! Point Space Jam. Hellraiser 2022 introduced us to an eclectic bunch of spooky goth kids that scared the dickens out of me. There was the pin-headed one. There was the one whose skin was peeled and stretched over its face and it couldn't breathe. There was the lady whose throat was ripped open and it kind of looked sexual. There was the one who had a face and no back of his head. And then there was my favorite one. The one who went... And Space Jam has its own team of ghoulish nightmares, the Monstars. There's the purple one, the red one, the green one, the blue one, the orange one, Grandmama, the white one. The point goes to my all-time favorite movie monster, the one that shoots CDs out of his head from Hellraiser 3. I love that movie. Point Hellraiser 3. Hellraiser, the thunder. Now, to answer the question, is Hellraiser 2022 better than Space Jam? No, it's not. It's not even better than Hellraiser 3, which is my favorite Hellraiser movie, which also isn't better than Space Jam. So in conclusion, no. Hellraiser 2022 worse than Space Jam. Now this has been Alistair Dillon. Good night and good suffering. Now when you solve that devil's box and the goth kids are coming to get you, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in a hospital. You could be in the back of a van. They emerge from ever-shifting floors and they just come out of the walls and shit. And it's terrifying and they summer in hell.